Well, I'm happy to be up here again, and I'm selfishly really excited because I'm with someone who I've known online for almost 6 years. We've been at so many of the same conferences. We have never met in person. Beverly Jackson. Yay. Before you even know everything about her, just clap.
Just clap anyway. Just clap anyway. I need the fulfillment to my personality.
Well, Beverly has had an amazing and impressive career, and she's just getting started, which I love. But she comes from near my hometown of Chicago. But I would love for you to just talk about the journey, how you've moved from Midwest to West Coast and able to catapult yourself into doing social at the Grammys and now with Yahoo. How does that happen for someone?
So I came to the internet during the sort of internet bubble and thought this could be really interesting and a lot more fun than what I was doing in Chicago, which was hazardous waste. So I actually have a background.
I think anything.
And I wasn't really burying bodies, but it was literally, I was working in trash. And decided that I really liked what was happening in the internet space, really liked sort of the evolution of technology and wanted to be a part of it and thought I had a voice that would be valuable and would resonate. So I have worked in the space for a couple agencies for a little bit. And okay,
a fly went in your mouth.
Like literally, there is a fly that is in my mouth. Like, how awful could this be? My ear
he
thing
heard you
is falling
say
off.
Waste management, and he's like,
and the fly's like, "Hey, I'm home." I promise you, the things that I have to say today are not trash. But anyway, started at an agency. Very early on in the space, moved to Tribune Media, and then sort of made my way to the West Coast, spent a little bit of time in Vegas, where, Sarah and I like to follow each other around the country. Spent some time in Vegas, and then made the move back to LA, more agency life, and really, really liked the idea of sort of entertainment content and sort of what was happening on the internet, and then obviously the evolution into social. So it just sort of played well, and I'm really good I'm always up for an adventure, so worked out.
So if somebody was making a toolkit out of your journey, it would be like adventure number one.
Like adventure number one. Don't be afraid of garbage. I have this interesting thing that I tell to women during mentoring sessions, and I always say that someone told me once, not to be the person left cleaning up the table because you were worth more than a crumb. And so I think my career is kind of between crumbs and garbage. I don't know, somewhere in there.
All jokes aside, are you comfortable if I talk about the unicorn reference?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, what? Then I have nothing left to ask. Yesterday during my presentation, I was joking. I showed a unicorn and I said, "Where's Beverly? Where's Beverly?" And I think there's actually something really powerful in this because she told me yesterday, she said, I'm over 40.
I did say that in
I'm
public.
a female. I'm African American.
And I work in tech.
And we said, she's I'm like a unicorn.
I'm a unicorn. They don't exist. They don't exist.
But what else did we say?
I said, and I'm okay with that because that gives me an opportunity to try to fly. It gives me a chance to do the unexpected. And by being in places where I wasn't expected to be, I've had an opportunity to do the extraordinary.
You're also paving the way so that someday you're not a unicorn.
Yes. I expect there to be lots of little Beverly unicorns right behind me in various shades and sizes. So we're going to have like a whole unicorn, like in Harry Potter, we're going to have like unicorn games. So I fully expect that to be happening.
Coming to an event like Social Fresh, given your history and your career, what do you both hope to offer to people here, and what were you looking to learn?
So I didn't know what to expect. This is my first Social Fresh, and I've done conferences around the world, and I've sort of been blessed enough to speak at a lot of different conferences around the world over the last 5 to 7 years. And it's amazing that I've never met Sarah actually in person. We just kind of hang out online. But one of the things that I was looking forward to was sort of the diversity of thought, concept, and the brands that were participating, and the challenges in hearing some of the sort of shared experiences and challenges that we're all sort of facing as our space continues to evolve and we continue to fight for resources and we continue to sort of grow it and validate it and operate sort of at scale. I'm hoping that I'll share something about the things that we are doing at Yahoo that makes sense to other people, and that give you some sort of insight into what happens when all the right pieces are on the table, and it's about putting them together and making them all fit.
So let's talk about very generally your role at Yahoo. I mean, it's a company right now that's being watched very intensely, partly because of your leadership there.
Yes.
What has working for a company like Yahoo during this intense time meant for your social strategy and how you share about the company and how you decide what you're going to do?
So for me, I wanted to be a part of this. Like, I raised my hand and actively pursued this opportunity. So I'm exactly where I want to be, and I'm grateful every day that I get to tell the story of some of the amazing work that's happening at Yahoo, and I get to tell that story online to millions of people every day. I think, I'd worked at the Grammys and had a great deal of success, and was doing big things with big numbers one night a week, and we stretched that so that we were relevant every day of the year. And someone said to me, the work at Yahoo means that it must be done at scale. Like, unless you move 1 million people at a time, you really haven't been successful. Because as a brand, we touch so many people in so many different ways, whether it's through email or whether it's giving them their stock report or their sports scores or fantasy football or, a live concert or news. And in order to make that really resonate, you have to have strategies and you have to have a coordinated effect that really does touch people and move so many people at one time. And that is a Herculean effort, and it's done largely because our executive staff and our leadership support that. And they encourage us, they resource us, and staff us appropriately so that we're able to do that. And I'm grateful for that opportunity, because it would be a very difficult job to do, understaffed and underfunded. Because
of your career, you've just worked with public companies, in the spotlight. I imagine having successes and failures in those very public sectors is intense either way. What has been your biggest success and maybe your biggest challenge? I don't want to use the word failure in your career thus far.
So let's see. I was at the Grammys when Michael Jackson died and managing that on social. I was there the night Whitney Houston died and managing that on social. I had the privilege of being at the Grammys when we were able to beat the Super Bowl and the Olympics in terms of social impressions and reach and that sort of stuff. And so it was a really, really exciting time. And then I came to Yahoo last year in July, and 30 days after I started, we launched this journey of changing our logo. And every day for 30 days online, we revealed a new logo as we led to the new logo change. And I had come from a place where people they loved what I did. I was like, yay, I'm so awesome.
You are.
And then I got to Yahoo, and we're changing our logo every day, and the intense spotlight and scrutiny, and everybody had an opinion on scale, at scale, and it was all directed. And so I would stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and get up at 6 o'clock and just sort of watch everybody's opinion about the logo change. And trying to coordinate that every day and go back in with a really positive attitude about it, started to take its toll until, I realized that what we did was the right thing to do. And it's a great logo and it looks good and it was successful ultimately. But that was the most challenging 30 days of my life. My husband was like, go to sleep, turn the phones off, put away the laptop. And I thought, but no, I can't. People hate us. Or they hate me. And so I started taking it really personally, and then I realized that it wasn't personal. And when you do this on a public stage like this, that everybody's going to have an opinion, and you just can't personalize it.
So what about so Grammy was
that was my big lap around the block.
Okay.
And then I think, the challenge was the logo change.
Every time that I've spoken with you, and because of your job, it's not odd for you to say something like, I was up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and any of us that work in a social capacity, knows that the internet doesn't sleep. How do you take care of yourself? How do you also be a family woman in addition to the professional side? How do you, I don't want to use the word balance, but make that work?
I don't always do a great job of balancing. And this is particularly interesting for me because I have young women who work for me who have families, who have young families. And so I give everything to this job more than I should. The way I balance it and the way I find my center is that I oftentimes will get on a plane and go away on a trip or just go to find some new adventure. People who know me online know that I love to travel, and so I'm always on an airplane, always in the airport. And so I'm always off for some big adventure. But the biggest challenge of this is not just making sure that I have balance to my life. I have an obligation to the women who work for me and to their families to make sure that they have balance. That, you know, regardless of the immense number of tools and tasks and challenges at this great big company and this huge brand that's being turned around, that I owe it to them to allow them to have a life. And that's my responsibility. It's part of that unicorn code.
Unicorn code. Hashtag unicorn code. Let's use it, people. Get it trending. Done. What, for anyone who's maybe in the audience here today who's just starting out in their career, or maybe you're in middle level management, maybe you are in leadership, but you're always thinking about what's next. What career advice do you give to people, regardless of gender, regardless of anything else? What career advice would you offer?
Be brave. Be brave. You cannot make change. You cannot achieve greatness if you are cowardly, if you don't take responsibility for your failures, and you are afraid to take a victory lap. I have a really good friend. She's at PR Gal on Twitter, Jamie Sarachit. And one of the things that Jamie and I sort of started the social thing at the Grammys, and one of the things Jamie and I always talk about is this idea of being brave and not being afraid to fail and being willing to take a chance. Because if you take a chance and if you are willing to sort of step out on faith a little bit and trust your instincts. You know, they always tell you that safety video about how if you're in the elevator and there's a creepy guy, he's creepy for a reason. You know, if you have good instincts and you trust them, you know, they will usually lead you in the right direction.
Watching out in elevators.
Yeah, creepy people in elevators.
Oh.
I'm usually the creepy person in the elevator, by the
way. She's not. Social networks have evolved and really came to life since you've been in your career. I know it's happened in mine. What has been the biggest change for you in your professional day-to-day activity, whether it's a job title or what has been the biggest change watching the evolution of your industry and social?
I think it's two parts for me. It is one, people who claim to be doing like amazing things in social, and then when you peel back the onion a little bit, it's like, something doesn't smell right here. And the people who declare themselves to be social ninjas or social experts, I think the space is moving and evolving so fast. And when you put on the added layer of analytics and what that does to metrics and ROI in an organization and creating value to shareholders, I think that sort of changes the definition of what we're doing and how effective we are or are not. I think when you are in a place where you are accountable for the work that we do now, because now we're sort of social's grown up to the place where it's like we've been saying that it's awesome, incredible, and amazing, and now we've got to prove it. And so now it's like that place where it's like put up or shut up. Like, are we really truly adding value to our organizations? Are we adding value to our shareholders? Are we adding value to our users? Are we evolving our products and services so that social has a place at the table that's deserved and earned, not just a novelty?
We're down to about a minute left, and I love the tone of this, but I have to make it a little lighthearted for a moment because I knew that I loved Beverly, and I think are kindred spirits. She talks to my mom on Twitter. I mean, it's like it goes beyond anything. And last night we discovered that we share an affinity for the same rapper. Should we say his name?
That's right. Okay,
Dirty?
1, 2. Ludacris.
Luda. And
we just both like Dirty South rap.
We
I'm
do.
Not really
it's
sure
like,
what that's about.
100%. I know. But so we're at the dinner table and we're like playing our favorite. We were like battling back and forth with our favorite Luda songs.
We're both like pulling out, like doing Vivo videos and pulling out our iTunes. It's like, but do you have this one? No, but I have that one. It was pretty awesome.
I don't have any other reason for bringing that into the interview except that I just really wanted to share that the personal side of you because you're an amazing woman. You're someone I've looked up to and admired. You've had a great career, but you're still just a humble, fun, cool person. And I love that about you. So
always just going to be me.
Yeah. So last question. If you could travel anywhere in the world today or tomorrow, where would it be and why?
Oh.
You love travel.
I do love traveling. My favorite place in the world is Brazil. My favorite place specifically is Bahia. And so I love Bahia. I would go there any day, anytime. So if we're going, I got a swimsuit. Let's rock. I never leave home without my passport, ever.
That's another on the toolkit of Beverly's Life Toolkit. Well, thank you so much for your time today. She'll be speaking later this afternoon. Please do not miss it. Follow her on Twitter. Interact whenever you can. You will thank yourself later.
Thank you, Sarah.